The Lotus Sutra, Chapter 24, Bodhisattva Gadga Dasvara. Thereupon, the Buddha Sakyamuni emitted a ray of light from his top knot, the mark of a great person, and also from the tuft of white hair between his eyebrows, thus illuminating all the Buddha worlds in the east, equal to the sands of 108 myriads of kotis and nayutas of Ganges rivers. Beyond this number of worlds was the Buddha world called Vairochana Rasmi Pratimandita. In that world was the Buddha named Kamala Dala Vimala Naksatrara Jasam Kusumita Bijna, a Tathagata, Arhat, completely enlightened, perfect in knowledge and conduct, well-departed, knower of the world, unsurpassed, tamer of humans, teacher of devas and humans, Buddha, Bhagavat. He was respectfully surrounded by a great assembly of countless innumerable bodhisattvas, and he expounded his teaching for them. The ray of light emitted from the tuft of white hair between the eyebrows of Sakyamuni Buddha illuminated the entire world. At that time, in the Buddha world of Vairochana Rasmi Pratimandita, there was a bodhisattva whose name was Gadga Dasvara, or Wonderful Voice. Having planted many roots of good merit over a long period, he paid homage to and closely attended immeasurable hundreds of thousands of myriads of kotis of Buddhas, and accomplished complete and profound wisdom. He attained the samadhis called Dvajagraki Ura Sadharma Pundarika Vimaladatta Naksatrara Javikridita Anilamba Jnana Mudra Sarvaruta Kausalya Sarva Punya Samuchaya Prasadavati Drivi Kridita Jnanoka Vyuharaja Vimala Prabhasa Vimala Garba Apkritsna and Suryavarta. He thus attained great samadhis, equal in number to the sands of hundreds of thousands of myriads of kotis of Ganges rivers. As the light of the Buddha Sakyamuni illuminated his body, he addressed the Buddha, Kamala Dala Vimala Naksatrara Jasam Kusumita Bijna. O Bhagavat, I shall go to the Saha world, approach the Buddha Sakyamuni in homage and reverence, and see Bodhisattva Manjushri, the prince of the Dharma, as well as Bodhisattva Vaisayaraja, Bodhisattva Pradansura, Bodhisattva Naksatrarya Jasam Kusumita Bijna, Bodhisattva Visista Charitra, Bodhisattva Vyuharaja, and Bodhisattva Vaisaya Samudagata. Then the Buddha, Kamala Dala Vimala Naksatrara Jasam Kusumita Bijna, addressed Bodhisattva Gadga Dasvara, saying, You must not despise that world, nor think it inferior, O son of a virtuous family. The land of that Saha world is uneven and irregular, and is filled with mud, stones, mountains, and filth. The Buddha is short of body, as are the Bodhisattvas. By contrast, your body is 42,000 yojanas tall, and my body is 6,800,000 yojanas tall. Your body is perfect in its bearing, and illuminated most beautifully with hundreds of millions of merits. Yet, when you go there, you must not despise that country, nor think the Buddha, Bodhisattvas, or the world itself inferior. The Bodhisattva Gadgadasvara addressed the Buddha, saying, O Bhagavat, I am now going to the Saha world through the power of the Tathagata, the carefree play of the transcendent powers of the Tathagata, and the adornment of the qualities and wisdom of the Tathagata. At that time, Bodhisattva Gadgadasvara, without rising from his seat or moving his body, entered Samadhi. Through the power of the Samadhi, he caused 84,000 jeweled lotus flowers to appear on Mount Gridikuta, not far from the seat of the Dharma. The stems were made of Jambunada gold, the leaves of silver, the pistils of diamond, and the calices of ruby. On seeing these lotus flowers, Bodhisattva Manjushri, the prince of the Dharma, addressed the Buddha, saying, O Bhagavat, why has this marvel appeared? There are a great many millions of lotus flowers, whose stems are made of Jambunada gold, leaves of silver, pistils of diamonds, and calices of ruby. The Buddha Sakyamuni answered Manjushri, saying, The Bodhisattva Gadgadasvara wishes to come to this Saha world from the Buddha world called Kamala Dala Naksatrara Jasam Kusu Mitabhijna, together with 84,000 bodhisattvas as his retinue. He approaches me in homage and reverence, wishing to make offerings and to hear the Lotus Sutra. Manjushri asked the Buddha, saying, O Bhagavat, what roots of good merit has he planted, and what merits has he practiced to attain his great transcendent powers? What kind of samadhi has he practiced? I entreat you to tell us the name of this samadhi. We wish to practice it with diligence. By practicing this samadhi, we wish to see the shape, appearance, size, and manner of this bodhisattva. I entreat you, O Bhagavat, to use your transcendent powers and let us see the appearance of that bodhisattva. Then the Buddha Sakyamuni spoke to Manjushri, saying, The Tathagata Prabhutaratna, who long ago entered parinirvana, will manifest the signs for you. At that time, the Buddha Prabhutaratna addressed that bodhisattva, saying, Come, O son of a virtuous family, Manjushri, the prince of the Dharma, wishes to see you. Thereupon, Bodhisattva Gadgadasvara disappeared from his world and arrived together with 84,000 bodhisattvas. In the worlds through which he passed, the land quaked in 6 ways. 7 jeweled lotus flowers rained everywhere, and hundreds of thousands of heavenly musical instruments sounded spontaneously without being played. The eyes of this bodhisattva were as large as blue lotus leaves. Even if hundreds of thousands of myriads of moons were gathered together, they would not exceed the beauty of his countenance. His body was pure gold in color, adorned with immeasurable hundreds of thousands of merits, radiant with virtuous dignity, and brilliantly illuminated like the adamantine body of the god Narayana. Having entered the 7-jeweled platform and ascended into the air, he flew above the earth at a height of 7 tala trees. Surrounded by respectful bodhisattvas, he arrived at Mount Gridikuta in the Saha world and descended from the 7-jeweled terrace. He came before the Buddha Sakyamuni with a necklace worth hundreds of thousands in his hand and bowed until his forehead reached the Buddha's feet. He presented the necklace to the Buddha, saying, O Bhagavat, this, the Buddha Kamala Dala Vimala Naksatrarya Jasamku Sumitabhijna, inquires of the Bhagavat, quote, Are you without illness or pain? Is your daily life pleasant? Are you at ease in practice? Is the world around you harmonious? Are your worldly affairs bearable? Is it easy to save sentient beings? Are they not filled with greed, anger, foolishness, avarice, and pride? Are they mindful of their parents? Do they respect Shramanas? Do they not have false views or erring thoughts? Do they control the desires of their five senses? O Bhagavat, do the sentient beings conquer Maras? Has the Tathagata Prabhutaratna, sitting in the seven-jeweled stupa, long after his parinirvana, come here to hear the Dharma? Furthermore, he inquired of the Tathagata Prabhutaratna, saying, Are you at ease and without pain? O Bhagavat, will your life be long and endured with patience? I now wish to see the body of the Buddha, Prabhutaratna. I entreat you, O Bhagavat, to manifest and show it to me. At that time, the Buddha Sakyamuni said to the Buddha, Prabhutaratna, This Bodhisattva, Gadgadasvara, wants to see you. Then the Buddha, Prabhutaratna, addressed Gadgadasvara, saying, Splendid, splendid. You have paid homage to the Buddha Sakyamuni and heard the Lotus Sutra, and have come here in order to see Manjushri and others. Thereupon, Bodhisattva Padmasri addressed the Buddha, saying, O Bhagavat, what roots of good merit has this Bodhisattva Gadgadasvara planted, and what merits has he practiced to attain these transcendent powers? The Buddha answered Bodhisattva Padmasri, saying, In the past, there was a Buddha called Megha Dundu Bisvararaja, a Tathagata, Arhat, completely enlightened. His world was called Savarupasam Darsana, and the Kalpa was called Priya Darsana. For a period of 12,000 years, this Bodhisattva Gadgadasvara paid homage to the Buddha Megha Dundubisvararaja with 100,000 kinds of music and 84,000 seven-jeweled bowls. As a result of his deeds, he was born in the world of the Buddha Kamala Dala Vimala Naksatrara Jasam Kusumita Bijna, and has attained transcendent powers. O Padmasri, what do you think about this? Is Bodhisattva Gadgadasvara, who paid homage to the Buddha Megha Dundubisvararaja with music and jeweled vessels, someone unknown? Bodhisattva Mahasattva Gadgadasvara here present is one and the same. O Padmasri, having closely and respectfully attended innumerable Buddhas and planted roots of good merit over a long time, this Bodhisattva Gadgadasvara met hundreds of thousands of myriads of kotis of Nayutas of Buddhas, equal in number to the sands of the Ganges River. O Padmasri, you think that the body of Bodhisattva Gadgadasvara exists only here. However, this Bodhisattva manifests himself in various bodies. He has thus taught this sutra in many places for the sake of the sentient beings. Sometimes he has appeared in the form of Brahma. Sometimes he has appeared in the form of Sakra. Sometimes he has appeared in the form of Isvara. Sometimes he has appeared in the form of Mahasvara. Sometimes he has appeared in the form of the great commander of the Devas. Sometimes he has appeared in the form of Vaisravana. Sometimes he has appeared in the form of a noble emperor. Sometimes he has appeared in the form of a minor king. Sometimes he has appeared in the form of a wealthy man. Sometimes he has appeared in the form of a householder. Sometimes he has appeared in the form of a state official. Sometimes he has appeared in the form of a Brahmin. Sometimes he has appeared in the form of a monk, nun, layman, or laywoman. Sometimes he has appeared in the form of the wife of a wealthy man or householder. Sometimes he has appeared in the form of the wife of a state official. Sometimes he has appeared in the form of the wife of a Brahmin. Sometimes he has appeared in the form of a boy or a girl. Sometimes he has appeared in the form of a human or a non-human, such as a deva, naga, yaksha, gandharva, asura, garuda, kimnara, or maharaga. In this way, he has expounded this sutra and saved those in the states of being of hell-dwellers, hungry ghosts, animals, and those in difficult circumstances. Sometimes he has transformed himself into a female in royal harems and taught this sutra. O Padmasri, this Bodhisattva Gadgadasvara saves all beings in the Saha world. This Bodhisattva Gadgadasvara has transformed himself into various forms and taught this sutra for the sake of all sentient beings. Nevertheless, his transcendent power has never decreased, nor his power of transformation, or his wisdom. This Bodhisattva illuminates the Saha world with his great wisdom, and causes every sentient being to attain what should be known. He does exactly the same in all the worlds of the 10 directions, which are equal in number to the sands of the Ganges River. If he is able to save them in the form of a Shravaka, he teaches the Dharma by changing himself into the form of a Shravaka. If he is able to save them in the form of a Pratyeka Buddha, he teaches the Dharma by changing himself into the form of a Pratyeka Buddha. If he is able to save them in the form of a Bodhisattva, he teaches the Dharma by changing himself into the form of a Bodhisattva. If he is able to save them in the form of a Buddha, he teaches the Dharma by changing himself into the form of a Buddha. Thus, he transforms himself in various ways according to the capacities of those who are to be saved. If he is able to save them by means of parinirvana, he manifests parinirvana to them. O Padmasri, Bodhisattva Mahasattva Gadgadasvara has achieved his transcendent powers and the power of wisdom in just such a manner. Thereupon, Bodhisattva Padmasri addressed the Buddha, saying, O Bhagavat, deep are the roots of good merit that this Bodhisattva Gadgadasvara has planted. O Bhagavat, in what samadhi did this Bodhisattva dwell, such that he was able to appear in various places in this way and bring sentient beings to the path? The Buddha answered Bodhisattva Padmasri, saying, O son of a virtuous family, that samadhi was called Savarupa Samdarsana. Dwelling in this samadhi, Bodhisattva Gadgadasvara has benefited innumerable sentient beings in this way. When this chapter, Bodhisattva Gadgadasvara, was being taught, those 84,000 people who had come with Bodhisattva Gadgadasvara attained the samadhi called Sarvarupa Samdarsana. Innumerable bodhisattvas in this Saha world also attained this samadhi, and dharani. Then Bodhisattva Mahasattva Gadgadasvara paid homage to the Buddha Sakyamuni and the stupa of the Buddha Prabhutaratna and returned to his own world. Those worlds through which he traveled quaked in 6 ways and rained jeweled lotus flowers. Hundreds of thousands of myriads of kotis of variegated music was heard. Having returned to his own world, he approached the Buddha, Kamala Dala Vimala Naksatrara Jasam Kusumita Bijna, surrounded by 84,000 bodhisattvas, and said to him, O Bhagavat, I have been to the Saha world and benefited the sentient beings. Having seen the Buddha Sakyamuni and the stupa of the Buddha Prabhutaratna, Bodhisattva Manjushri, the Prince of the Dharma, Bodhisattva Bhaisaraja, Bodhisattva Vaira Bala Vegaprapta, and Bodhisattva Pradhanasura, I caused these 84,000 bodhisattvas to attain the samadhi called Sarvarupa Samdarsana. When this chapter, the coming and going of Bodhisattva Gadgadasvara, was taught, 42,000 sons of the Devas attained the acceptance of the non-origination of all dharmas, and Bodhisattva Padmasri attained the Saddharma Pundarika Samadhi.